Hi, it's Kassy. Today we're going to work in this Dina Wakley craft journal. This is the 6x6, and I really love this paper. It's very thick, and you can really do a lot to it. It's also fun to work on a different color surface and a different type of paper surface. This craft paper, as I said, is very thick, but it also is a little bit rough, like it has some tooth to it. And because it's a craft color, it plays and interacts with the colors you put on it a little bit differently. And sometimes they can even pop more off the page depending on the color and how you use it. So it's just really fun to try different surfaces and different colors to create on to help expand your creativity and your imagination. So I really, again, I don't know what I'm going to do. I did decide that today we're focusing on Deco Earth paints. This is a new line of paints from Deco Art, and they have some really beautiful colors. And this paint is really cool because it's made from recycled house paint, which I think is really crazy and amazing. And I had the chance to talk to them and learn about the paints at Creativation this past year, and I was able to take some samples of the paint home with me, and I'm really impressed with the coverage of these paints. They're very smooth and creamy and very highly pigmented, and oftentimes you can cover things in one coat and it's just so beautiful, and the colors are beautiful and vibrant, and I'm really enjoying working with these paints. So if you haven't picked any up yet, maybe you might want to do that after you watch the video today. And you know, they do have a pretty good color range. So I just picked a few colors that I might like to use. Of course, got black and white, you know, just for blending and for adding highlights and shadow accents. I also picked yellow, berry red, and galaxy blue. So this berry red feels a little bit more pinky to me. Let's see, give it a good shake. Let's just take a look at what yeah, it's kind of a cerise pink kind of color. So I mean, it is called berry red, so you can see there. Ooh, isn't that pretty? I'm very excited. So those are the colors I have chosen for today, but again, they've got lots of colors, so you could go check out their website and see what they have. They also do give you some information here. Made with 70% reclaimed paint, which I think is so great, especially when we're talking about, you know, being sustainable and caring for the environment and helping to make things better. I think they're really taking a big step in that direction, and so I just want to support that. Yeah, excellent coverage, intermixable, matte finish, indoor, outdoor, which is great, water-based, 1 light fast rating. So yeah, I'm just really excited to share it with you today. I also have a few of my stencils. These are my stencil designs, and you can find my stencils in my Etsy shop, which is Kassy's Parlor Etsy shop. And so they're there, and there'll be a link in the description for that. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I just picked these out. These are fun to play with, and let's just see where we go. Let's see. I also have some paintbrushes from Deco Earth. This is from the Deco Earth line. They made some fun paintbrushes. I've got a couple flats and a little detail brush. This is a number 3, and then I've got a 3/4 inch and a 12 flat. So, and they might have other types of brushes too. Those are just the ones that I have. So anyway, all right, let's just get playing here. So I think what I want to do is start, I really like this pattern. And I kind of want to start with the darker color. Excuse me. I'm working on a glass mat here. It's nice and easy to clean up. And sometimes I'll just work directly in my book, usually actually, but today, or right now, at least for this part, I kind of want to pick and choose where I go, and so I'm going to put it on the mat. I also like to use these makeup sponges because they're just really cheap and easy, and this has like paint that's gotten hard on the end of it, so I just cut the tip off and kind of flatten it out a little bit, and then I just keep using it until there's nothing left. And it's a good economical way to do that. So, and then I don't have to worry about like cleaning it. You can clean it and keep using it, but you also don't have to. So that's what I'm doing here. So I've got the blue. Let's see. I think I kind of just want to go, I want to maybe I want to do around the edges a little bit, not necessarily in the middle. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just playing around here, and I'm going to see where it takes me, and I'm not going to be too particular. You know, when I'm getting started, I really just like to break the blank page. Like, that's the hardest part for everybody, right? So if you just try really hard, I know it's difficult sometimes, but try really hard not to overthink it and just let yourself flow and see what happens. I think, you know, once you start doing that more regularly, you'll be surprised at how great things just flow. So now I've only not done that little bit, and I said I was gonna just go around the edge, but now I'm just gonna do the whole thing because it feels weird to me. So again, you can change your mind in the moment. You can have a plan and stick to the plan. You can not have a plan. There are no rules in your art journal, which is why this is my favorite form of play and just creating art. Create art for yourself, for your self-care, for your enjoyment. It's really important. All right, look that's so pretty. I love the stencil because you've got just the triangles, and if you just look at it that way, you just see a bunch of triangles. But if you look at the negative space, you know, you've got like a diamond here, and that's fun for me. And you can also flip it and line it up once this dries, and you could fill in the other shapes, this negative shape, with another color and actually make a harlequin, which I might do that to show you because it's pretty cool. It's a fun stencil. Okay, I think I'm just going to work on this one page for today, and we'll see where we go. Let me dry this. I think it's almost dry now. It's drying pretty fast, but there's a little bit that isn't. So, you know, one thing you may have noticed, I used a fair bit of paint just for this little area. The reason for that is because this craft paper is really absorbent. So just be aware of that when you're putting your mediums down on here. Just know that it's going to suck it right up. So just be aware of that. Okay. Yeah, let's do the other side so you can kind of see how this works. Now you have to do it in stages. Well, that's pretty cool too, though. I've never done that before. Whoa. All right, I'm not doing that right now, but I'm going to try that another time. I do want to show you this other way for today. But that's interesting. What if you did like a translucent color? Okay. All right, I have ideas. Always more ideas flowing and poking their way through. All right, let's try this pink and see what it looks like. Just gonna move some stuff out of the way so I have got room. Need another sponge. This one is ready to go. Okay, let's get our berry pink. Oh, excuse me. This is called berry red. Berry red. It's a nice cerise kind of pink color. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, this paint, can you see? It's just really creamy. It's so creamy and so opaque. I mean, look at this is a craft paint, right? And it is giving me full coverage in the first little bit, in the first round here. And this, again, this craft paper, which is very absorbent. It's just amazing. I should have brought it into this camera view to show you, but when I learned about this paint, we took a class and we made these cute little wooden frames, you know, like the inexpensive frames you can get from the craft store. And we just painted on it, and we didn't prime the wood first. We didn't put gesso or anything down. We just started painting with this paint on the wood surface, and I'm telling you, it covered in one coat, and it was just beautiful and vibrant, and I was kind of blown away from that moment. So look at this. We can make a fun pattern here. Let me get this one down here. Let's see. You just got to line it up. There we go. And I'll finish this pattern down here. So also stencils are a great way to to break a blank page. You know, if you're trying to get started and you're like, I don't even know what I want to do. That one's a little off center, but I really kind of like how that looks and how it's not perfect. It's fun. But anyway, yeah, stencils, the more stencils you have, I think the better, because it really is a great way to get started and just to help you get something down so then you can start playing with it and working on it. I love this so much. It's a great start and a great background. I also have this stencil that's got like a bunch of X's on it. And this is another one of my favorites. And I think what I want to do is take the white and I'm going to make like a line straight down. So I'm just starting to layer patterns. And this is a really great way to build up your background and make something really interesting. So again, I'm putting my white down here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do the same thing I did. We're just playing with stencils today. And this is white over craft paper and over dark paint colors. Okay, and yes, you can see through it a little bit, but man, look at that coverage. This is just so great. Okay, I just want to do like a stripey thing down the side here, just to break up that pattern a little bit that's underneath. I don't care about getting all of the X's perfectly inked or painted or whatever. Okay, I think that's going to be good. Let's see. Yes! Oh, that looks so good. Yes. Before I move on, I think I want some white splatter just to go out from the sides here, and I've got a little white paint left. I am going to water it down a little bit to make it looser. Okay, and I've got my little detail brush here because I just want a little bit of white splatter. I'm going to angle my journal sideways for a minute. I just want some splatter going up and out this way. I'll hold this page down. Actually, I highly recommend, if you're working in an art journal, to have a binder clip, like kind of a big one. This is a medium size one, but see how this page is like sticking up a little bit? That happens. So if you just lay it as flat as you can and then put a binder clip, now it holds it down for you. And that's a nice thing to have. Okay, so let's just see what we can get here for some, oh yes, that's so perfect. Oh my gosh, I love splatters. Do you use splatters in your art, whether it's art journaling or whatever kind of art you do? Let me know. I'm addicted to splatters. I think they're so great and they help to finish the page a bit. And I don't mind if it goes onto the other page because, you know, it's just a white splatter. I can always cover it up if I don't like it. Okay, that looks so good. You see how that adds just a little bit more texture? And notice I was holding my brush down here at the end and just kind of tapping here. That really helps it to be nice and loose and not so, you know, controlled. Okay, normally I want to outline these X's. I just think it'd be fun and nice way to sort of help it along. Normally I would get out a paint marker to do that, but lately I've been trying to just like use what I have here, and I've got this great paint, and so let's just try it a different way. So I'm gonna get some yellow out. This one is called Yellow. And I'm gonna get that small detail brush back from the Deco Earth line here, and I am just going to pick up some of this yellow paint and just practice my hand at drawing these nice small strokes. Okay, and you could even practice, like, you know, somewhere else first, but honestly, this is your journal. This is where you're supposed to practice stuff, right? And not worry about the outcome. You're just practicing and learning and growing and deciding what you like and what you don't like. So this is the place to do it. And I'm sorry, my hand is gonna be over this a little bit. It's hard to not do that, but you'll get to see the results. And notice I've already like gone away from the edge of the X, and my strokes are not great, and that's great. It's all great, and there's nothing wrong with any of it, and it's gonna look kind of messy, and the more I do this, the less messy it's gonna be over time, right? Because we're practicing and we're growing our skills. So if you do something and it's messy, or it just not quite right, or it's not exactly what you want it to be, just keep doing it. Keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. Because eventually it's going to be the way you want. So here I am, just going to outline these X's. I don't know if I'm going to do all of them. Maybe I'm just going to do some random ones. I don't know. We'll see what feels good in the moment. Let's do some down here. And then I'll decide if I want to do all of them or just a few. And you see how this is just helping to like bring it up to the next level. Like everything you do on your page is just helping to give it more depth, more interest, more personality, all of that. And it's more practice for you, figuring out what you like and what you don't like. I always told my son growing up, and he would lose or not do well at something, he'd get upset, you know. And I'm like, well, actually, losing sometimes is better than winning because you actually learn something, which is the goal, right? For us to learn and grow and evolve over time. So, yeah, losing doesn't always feel good, or, you know, having an idea in your head and trying to create it in this journal or on paper or whatever, and it not turning out the way you want right away doesn't always feel good. Same thing, but you're learning and growing, and eventually that thing is going to turn out the way you want, and it's going to be amazing, and it's going to feel so great because you spent all the time making things that didn't quite look right. And now all of a sudden you have something that does look right, and you can appreciate it so much more. If it just looked exactly right from the beginning, you wouldn't appreciate it. It wouldn't mean as much. You know what I mean? So really just lean into being new at something, having imperfections, not being good at it. Lean into that and appreciate it for what it is and enjoy it. Enjoy the moments where you're not good at something. Eventually, if you keep doing it, you'll be good at it. And then you might get bored with it and be like, I need to try something else now because I'm good at this. And it's, you know, it might not get boring, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. I really kind of like this. I don't think I want to do all of them. I like having it sort of scattered and not really in any particular pattern. I have some that are right next to each other, you know, some that are here and there. But I also feel like, because there's only yellow here, I kind of want to either add some yellow splatter or some marks somewhere else. Let me think on that for a second. Okay, I have this stamp, and I feel like I want to say it's Seth Apter, maybe with like Paper Artsy or something, but I don't know that for sure, so don't hold me to that. But I've had it for a while, and you see it's just a fun grungy stamp. It's got some great texture on here. I'm going to remove my clip because I think I'm going to add some yellow textury stuff somewhere over here. And at least to start, I have this paintbrush. I was going to do something, but I don't know. I'm sort of forming my idea as we go here. So you get to learn it with me. How about that? So I guess I'm going to use my paintbrush, and I'm going to paint it right onto this stamp. Now this stamp has been used, you can see, with paint a bunch of times. And that's the point of this stamp, for me at least, is just a grungy texture. So I don't mind, but you do need to be careful. See, isn't that great? If you're using acrylic paint on your stamps, because it could make them less effective over time, because that acrylic paint can kind of build up. But this one is just meant to be a grungy mess anyway, so I don't really mind. And I do sometimes clean it. See, doesn't that look so great? I need to do some over here too, and I need to cover some of those X's. So let's get a little bit more yellow. And I really like, oop, that's a lot more yellow. That's okay. Okay, let's see. I just love layering all of the patterns on top of each other. It's just really interesting. Okay. Yes, that looks so good. Okay, let's go over here. All right, I'm really liking this. A little bit more at the bottom here. I'm almost done. I think this is going to be kind of a quick page. Sometimes they're done in no time. Other times I sit for an hour and I barely have anything. And those are the times when I'm in my head too much and not just putting it down and not caring. So there we go. I think I'm good there. I think I really like that. It broke up some of the, so there's a lot of geometric shapes going on here. And this is a very organic, grungy kind of texture. And so putting it over those other shapes kind of broke that up a little bit and made it a little bit more flowy. Whoops, excuse me. So, okay, this might be crazy here, but I just had an idea and I have to try it because that's my rule. I really do like this the way it is, but I was thinking it would be really cool to do something over here. So I'm going to get a little bit more white. I think, yeah, white. Okay. I'm forming this idea as we go out loud with you. So it may be a disaster. You never know. I do have a wet wipe here. Okay. And this is important for this technique. And this technique is so fun and really effective. Okay, so let me make sure my brush is clean. Okay, so I just want to try, I'm going to try it over here first. Let's just see. I've got some white paint. I'm going to brush it on. I have to be super quick because this... yeah, it might not work. Okay, it's working. Okay, what I want to say is you have to be super quick when you're working on this paper because it soaks in so fast and dries so fast when you're working on this craft paper to do this technique. But it worked here. We were fast enough. And can you see how now I have some white in the background, but where my stencil design is, you can see through it. And it also helps to sort of break up the page and give some interest in a different way. So I really kind of like that. And you can even see the yellow acrylic paint behind it that we just did. Okay, so I'm going to do it again over here. Whoops. Okay, so get everything ready, especially on this paper. And I'm going to go down here and I'm just like slapping paint down here. Who cares? And I'm even going to cover a little bit of that other thing, right? And then I'm going to put this down and then I'm going to rub and take that paint off and make sure that stencil stays in place so you get that. See? That's cool. That's super cool. I'm loving that. Okay. All right. I love it. Let's see. Okay. Just deciding. I think I might do this other edge. I don't know. Something bugging me over here. So let's just do this. And, you know, I think I might be doing too much at once here, but we'll see. We're going to see. Okay, it's working. It's working. Yay. You just got to experiment. Look at that. Yeah, I like it. It's interesting. And it's just another way to break up the page I wanted to show you. So, okay, let's work on the focal point. Okay. I want to focus on the focal point, but before I do that, I've got all this paint here that's just hanging out that I don't think I'm going to use again. So I'm going to pick another page. And, well, I guess we'll just go here. Who cares? And I'm going to spritz it with water just a tiny bit. And then I'm going to just move it. So I'm just going to take my sponge here. Maybe I'm going to do this. I just want to use all the paint and not waste it. I don't like wasting paint. And, you know, you can use it in so many ways. You could put through a stencil on this page. You can just, you know, smudge it or whatever. I'm going to use the same sponge because I don't care. And now I'm taking the blue and I'm going to put that in places and maybe it's going to make some green and that's pretty cool. Okay. And I'm just trying to use up this paint as much as I can. All right. There's a little bit of white here, so let's, with the same sponge, I don't even care. We're going to pick up some white, and who knows what I'm going to do with this page. You know, look at, I'm getting a mix of blue, white, and pink now when I sponge this, which is very interesting. So yeah, so now look at my background here. That's pretty cool and fun and interesting and unique, and I've used all my paint. So let me clean up and then we'll get back to our other page. Okay. I've got the black, and I want to put this Focus on the Good on here. I'm going to put my clip back down nice and flat. Okay. And I think I just want this to go here, but I want it to be like over and over and over again. I think just a whole row of it. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I've got the black. We're going to try something. And let's see. I'm going to do like a line of it. We'll probably need more. Okay. I've got a small brayer. And are you going to roll for me? Yes. Okay, great. Okay. So let's see. Well, I can probably just do it right here. So we're rolling on the paint. You could use a sponge for this too if you don't have a brayer. You could just dip it in. There's a lot of ways you can do it, but we're going to try it this way. And let's just see what we get. I probably should have used an acrylic block, but I didn't. Here we go. Let's do it now. Here we go. You just get nice even pressure that way versus your hand. So let's see. Yeah, you can't really read it, but that's okay. We can fix that. I'm just playing and just trying things out. Let's do it again. We're going to go all the way up and down here. Ooh, that was better. I think I got more paint on there this time, better coverage. Let's see. I can always paint over, you know, again, like with a paintbrush once I get it down here. Focus on the good. Okay, that's interesting. All right, really quick though, I'm gonna clean this because remember what I said, you don't want acrylic paint to dry on your stamp if you can help it. So, and I just kind of like squish around, get in the cracks and crevices there and make sure, you know, it might stain a little bit, and that's okay. These are just our tools meant to help us make art. But there we go. It's nice and clean. Okay, so I've got extra paint. I'm going to actually just do this because this is fun. Clean my brayer. All right, and then use the paint that's left here and maybe try and see if I can paint into it. I don't know that I want to do this for the whole thing, but maybe just one of them. That might be good. Yeah, that's a good idea, because then one can be the focal point. You know, so I'm gonna color in this black so it's more solid. And then I think I might outline one of them, you know, and then we've got the repeating pattern, which is interesting, but you know, they're not all sort of in focus. I don't know. We'll try it and see how it goes. Sometimes your pages don't go exactly the way you planned. This one is definitely, you know, I didn't plan this. I had a different idea in my head than what's coming out on the page here, but I don't hate it. It is a little bit busy in the background, so I'm thinking about like, what can I do to sort of bring it home. So while I'm painting this, I'm kind of thinking about that. Just telling you my thought process too, so that you know how I get from A to B to C. I think that's the most important thing with any art process, is understanding, you know, why we make decisions that we do when we're making anything. Art journal page, 3D art, you know, canvas, whatever. A greeting card, a scrapbook page, any of it. It's all art. It's all important. And there's a thought process for all of it, right? Okay. Here we go. This brush is really nice for doing this detail. It's pretty easy to maneuver and handle. It's comfortable. Man, I got a lot of paint here. Okay, I'm gonna have to use it on another page. All right. I knew before I put this down that I was probably gonna need to lighten up the background for this to work, and I didn't do it. And now this is why. It's hard to read because it's dark on dark. Do you see that? All right, I've got white paint in my little brush. I'm just going to start by outlining these letters and sort of painting around them. And then we'll see where that takes us. So I might fast forward this part because it's going to be boring watching me just paint around a bunch of letters. I'm adding some splatter around. I feel like this is like a poster on this crazy background, and I'm going to get into that in a second, why I think this is working, because it is crazy. But I want to put splatter around it, and I don't want to get splatter in the words. So, like really messy splatter. Yeah, look at those lines. That's perfect. Okay. I think I want to go all 4 directions. Sorry if you can't see it very well. I want it, oh, darn it. Hold on. There we go. Okay, I can always go back over that with black if I need to. I've kind of already gone this way, but we're gonna do it again. Yeah, I want that real, ooh, I love these lines that are coming out. That's so great. Okay, let's do it this way. All right, that's good. Oh my gosh, it's kind of perfect. Okay, do you see how those lines are coming out? Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So here's what I'm thinking. This page is crazy, right? Sometimes that happens. It is a reflection of what's in my brain right now, you know, which is what art journaling is all about. My brain is crazy right now, and it's all over the place, and there's just so many thoughts going on right now. And so getting it out on paper here is really, really helpful. And the reason that I think this all works together, even though this background is like, just like madness, right? The focal point says focus on the good, focus. And it's highlighting itself. While all this crazy is going on in the background, this is the message. Focus on the good. Focus on the good. Don't worry about all this crazy mess in the background. Just focus on the good. So, man, this is what my brain came up with. And I would not have thought to do this ever in a million years. Like, this feels very chaotic to me, and like I need to bring it down. Even though I love bold and bright and graphic and all of that, this does feel crazy. But the way that this turned out and what my subconscious is bringing to the surface here is really profound. And what I want, I'm only saying this because I really want you, when you're creating your journal pages, to, you know, create intuitively and like whatever feels good in the moment and comes to you, just do it and see where it takes you and see what yourself is trying to tell you, maybe, you know. It doesn't have to be that deep either, but this is interesting. So, all right, well, we're done for today. We use some really great Deco Earth paint products. You can see the quality here. The coverage that it gives you is really fantastic. And yeah, it's a craft paint, but so you could use it on any kind of craft project, but you can definitely use it in your art journal. And they've got lots of great colors. And you know, we stamped with it. We used it through a stencil. You could just paint with it. I just think it's a really great tool to have. So thanks so much for joining me today. I hope that this was inspiring and gave you an idea to go get your journal out and make something and make a page and let it be messy and crazy and just love the process. All right. Have a great day. Take good care of yourself. We'll talk soon. Bye.